right, 99.9 Punk World Radio FM. You guys already know what time it is. And right here, it is Merry Christmas Eve. It is December 23rd, and we got the last interview before the Christmas holidays. And we're joined by the best band to actually come out of Texas. We got Corpus Christi's own Tyler of Left-Handed Knives. How you doing tonight, Tyler?
I'm good. How are you?
Best I can possibly be. I had to throw that Friends reference in there. I know a lot of the people that are younger are like, what the is he talking about? But I'm pretty sure us older guys will get it, man.
Yeah.
But how's everything out there in Texas, man? I know obviously there's not a lot of snow out there because it is Texas. So what's the holiday season actually like out there and out there in Corpus Christi?
We're pretty far south Texas. It's like it was 80 degrees outside today. It was it's not typical what you think of when it's wintertime.
See, I will admit, for one, I got to say, first and foremost, I'm super jealous that you have summer weather. We have a nasty snowstorm going on right now in Ottawa. So I will say I'm definitely jealous. I would literally do absolutely anything in this world to get 80-degree weather right now.
Yeah, we don't experience many seasons here. It's pretty much hot or less hot.
Well, I know where I am moving to whenever the station really picks up and I start making millions of dollars. I'm going to Texas.
There you go.
But I know you're a busy guy, and of course, I'm not going to take you away from your evening too long. But I got to take you back to the beginning of this amazing band, and I have to ask, how did yourself and the rest of the members first meet and go on to form the Left-Handed Knives?
So it was actually during the beginning of COVID. It was in 2020. We've all been in bands in the Corpus Christi area, and we've all known each other in and out of that scene for a long time. And just kind of the stars aligned during that time. I used to work with the drummer. We were three of us in our band are all in education, like teaching high school and whatnot. And so we kind of linked up through that and got together and kind of started doing it for fun. And then we realized that this is the kind of music that a lot of us had been wanting to play for a long time and started playing live shows and recording stuff. And it's been a good ride.
And when you say you like all you guys are actually in like education and whatnot and are teachers, did you guys all just one day just hang out in the teachers lounge and just realize y'all like say music or or are you guys from like different schools as well?
Myself and the drummer, TC, he used to work in the hallway right across from me, and I would be playing my punk rock music like between classes, and he came over and it was kind of like, what do you have going on in there? And we kind of bonded over that and would go get drinks after work and talked about our bands that we'd been in that we had known about but didn't quite know each other. And then decided to just, call up a couple of other guys that we knew and see if they would be interested.
I gotta say that's really cool, man. Little those kids know they actually have the coolest teachers, man. They got punk rock musicians as their teachers, man. That's pretty badass.
Yeah, they like it. A lot of them are aware of the band and are like, oh, when is new music gonna drop and everything. It's fun.
I got to admit, like I would make the joke being like, once you get your homework in quick enough that I can grade it quicker, then we can start making new music. You'd use that, maybe make your job a little less harder tracking them kids down for homework. That's
right. I'll use that as motivation.
Well, then watch and see. One of them's going to see this interview and be like, nope, that interviewer gave you that. Nice try.
Let's hope so.
But also, exactly 3 years ago today, December 23rd of 2021, you actually released your self-titled debut 6-track EP. Looking back exactly 3 years ago today, I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this amazing EP, and of course, where can we actually snag ourselves a copy of it 3 years later in 2024?
Yeah, so I didn't actually realize it had been 3 years today until you said that. I'm like the primary songwriter as far as like lyrics and like general orchestration, and then we all get together and flesh everything out. And so we had a back catalog at that time, and we kind of picked what we thought people liked when we were playing live. And we put that together. We put it out, and we're working on a new EP right now as well that we're slowly releasing over time. But we have 2 or 3 more. We want to release like 6 song sets at a time. We have like a handful in the back catalog for that. But a lot of our music, typical like pop punk themes, I guess I could say. But lost love and angst and frustration. Sometimes there's like political themes in that. It kind of runs the gamut. A lot of the guys in our group did not. We didn't want to pigeonhole ourselves into just like pop punk or skate punk or crust punk or horror punk or anything like that. We all like it all, and so if you listen to our music or come to our live shows, you're going to hear a little bit of everything. If you like anything that's kind of related to any of that, but as far as where you can stream that EP, Apple Music, Spotify, all of the typical places. We have our website, which is lefthandedknives.com, where we have physical merch as well. So yeah, you can grab it a lot of places.
And also, as well, March of 2022, you guys were also nominated for the Arts, Culture, and Entertainment Band, the Local List 2022 for Band of the Year. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about this nomination. And of course, what was the outcome? Did you guys take the dub? And if so, either way, a nomination is still a win. But I will say, you guys definitely deserve a trophy.
Thank you. We did not take the win on that one. It was another local band who they're great. That is a local lifestyle magazine called The Bend, and they every year have their readership and people online vote on bands and different restaurants and everything that could fall under the umbrella of culture for what is Corpus Christi or the coastal Bend area of South Texas. And we were one of the ones that we were nominated, and I know some of the editors for the magazine, and it was a close one. We were right there behind the band that won. But yeah, it was cool to be nominated. Our students knew as well, going back to the teaching thing. But yeah, it was a good experience.
And also in the same year of 2022, May 7th to be exact, you guys were actually part of a compilation record called Punk Against Putin. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a story about this compilation, and of course, how did you guys actually end up on this amazing compilation project?
So we ended up on it because we were the ones that put it together. Punk Against Putin was right when the war with Russia and Ukraine started. It was in the same vein from like Rock Against Bush when NoFX put that together. In the early aughts, we got 10 local bands, ourselves included, to release a new single that maybe was one they had been holding on to or one they wrote new for the compilation, which some bands did. And we put out a new single as well for that. And then we ended up doing a festival that went alongside the release of that compilation. And we raised $1,300 and sent it to a nonprofit called United Help Ukraine. And where we were pretty proud of that when all of that happened. We got some national recognition, actually.
And I got to say as well, it's great that you guys actually put together such an amazing compilation, because the whole Ukraine and Russia situation was absolutely heartaching and gut wrenching to watch. But it's great that when you have great individuals like yourself that actually can do what you guys do best and help earn some money for a great organization.
Yeah, we were glad to do it, and it ended up being a pretty big local festival as well. And yeah, we were glad to do that. Unfortunately, things are still going on in Russia and Ukraine, and we've talked over the last 6 months or so about maybe doing Punk Against Putin, Volume 2 or something like that to try to help raise some more money.
I would say I really hope that Putin actually somehow, shape, or form, maybe Googled himself and actually found it and listened to it. Too bad you couldn't just like email like the Russian government a copy of the CD and be like, just write like with our best regards.
Yeah, no kidding. We were stoked though. The drummer from NoFX, Smelly, he found it somehow, and he was like sharing it on his social media and stuff like that. So we were pretty stoked about that.
And speaking of NoFX, I noticed as well you're rocking a NoFX t-shirt as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Did
you get a chance to see one of their last shows actually on their last tour?
Yeah, they came to Austin, Texas, and we went I think they were there for 3 days, and we saw them for 2 of the days that we were there, and it was fun. Well, we actually our band has a beer here at one of our local breweries. And since part of the Punk and Drublick Festival in Austin is they have lots of different local breweries come and serve their beer, we got to serve our own branded band beer before the show, and it was cool. It was a good experience.
And also, before we move off the topic of Punk Against Putin, one of the songs actually on the record is actually called So Wrong by New Ends that actually features left-handed knives as well. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us about this particular collaboration, and of course, what actually made both of you guys decide to come together to actually release So Wrong?
So New Ends is another local Corpus band that they have a pretty good following. That's kind of a different demographic than ours slightly. Their music's a little bit more like Blink-182, maybe later Blink kind of inspired. And I've known the singer for a while, and he reached out to me and said, we would love to be on this comp. We want to do a song with you. And so I sang the second verse on that song, and it kind of ends with both of us singing together. And it was a good collaboration.
Oh, I definitely agree. It definitely was a phenomenal collaboration. I hope you guys actually come together to actually do some more work, because I got to say, I thoroughly enjoyed that song.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah, we want to.
And also, while we're actually on the topic of songs and singles and whatnot, November 14th, 2024, you guys actually released your most recent single titled Falling. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us the story and inspiration behind your most recent track.
Sure. That song is about, I guess, a couple. I've experienced this in my own, and so has other guys in my band, but just being with someone who you're in the same cycle of fights or things just seem to be like they're going in circles all the time, and you think things are going to get better and they don't, and you're back in the same place over and over and over. And it's kind of just the story of a couple that's going through that. It seems like they're going to not be together, and then they kind of do that as it resolves at the end of the song.
Hey, you can never go wrong with a good love story, you know?
Yeah, definitely, especially with the genre we're in.
Exactly. Normally, the genre that we're in, yeah, definitely, it's more of a either you're together, but then you get your heart broken near the end. It's kind of like a country song, but I take that back. Actually, I feel like all the punk rockers are gonna come after me for that one. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's more angsty than that. But it's definitely some depressing songs. But then you got some funny and great songs as well in punk rock. But a lot of them are kind of depressing if you really listen to the words.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of punk songs have about lost love, and that's kind of where this one's riding that line of, is that's what's going to happen. There's a couple getting mad and smashing things and stuff in the song as well. So.
And then you're kind of like, oh, it's cute. They ended up together.
Yep, exactly.
But also, December 11th of this year, you guys also had the opportunity to share the stage with the legendary punk rock band Authority Zero at the House of Rock in Corpus Christi, Texas. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us the story behind this show. And of course, did you guys get the opportunity to kick it with any of the members of Authority Zero before or after their performance?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A couple of different bands that we've played in, they haven't been in to Corpus since I think 2019, but the last time I had seen them or had been in bands where they were around, it was like in 2014. And so it was cool to see them again. And yeah, we got to hang out with them beforehand. We actually helped kind of organize the show. We reached out to that venue and kind of asked who's touring in the general area, because we'd like to bring someone in. And it was them and Teenage Bottle Rocket, but Teenage Bottle Rocket wasn't able to get down. They've been playing off and on with Authority Zero on this tour right now, because Authority Zero is on their 30th anniversary tour. And but they're a great bunch of guys. We hung out with them before and after, and they were telling us about some hotel that they had inadvertently trashed recently and stuff. And so it was fun. It was a good time.
I actually caught them when they slid through Ottawa for their 30th anniversary show, and I have to say it was one of the best punk rock shows I've ever been to. I will admit I'm getting a little bit older myself, so I saw the mosh pit and I was kind of right there, and I'm like, man, should I do this? Like, I'm gonna hurt, and I didn't think about it. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I just jumped in, and I will admit that I loved it, but the next day I was like, man, that was rough.
That's funny you say that, because I did the same thing. A couple other guys in our band did too, and buddies that we have. And the next day in our like group chat, someone sent this meme of like this old man on a walker being like, when you're in late 30s, you know, the next day after the mosh pit. And that's what it feels like sometimes.
Yeah, I gotta say, Authority Zero, some of the coolest dudes. I had the it's weird being able to interview a few of them, and they actually get to know who you are, and then you see them at the concert, and you're like, damn, man, this is kind of, it's very weird when you kind of get to know people in the industry, and then you see them perform, and it's like, man, it's actually pretty badass.
Yeah, that's cool.
But also as well, the one thing I have to ask, because obviously, 2024 is actually starting to wrap up. There's only like less than a few weeks left. What is next for Left-Handed Knives and yourself? Like, is there any shows currently booked for 2025? Will we get a chance to hear new music as well? Like, what is next for the entire band?
So we have a new single called Paranoid that's supposed to drop next Thursday. This Thursday. It's coming up Thursday. Yeah, sorry. And then our final EP, or the songs that are all leading up to this EP drop, I should say, is going to release the tail end of January. I don't know if we have an exact date yet, but it should be probably that last week of January. And that EP is titled Too Much Blood in the Beer Stream. And we have some shows that we're planning on doing. We're lining things up for springtime. I know we're going to go to San Diego. We've talked about doing Mexico City. So we're going to try to do a little run of kind of southern United States. As far as like specific dates, that's where it's all kind of still up in the air right now. We're trying to figure out if we're doing our own, if we're going to try to maybe support bands like Authority Zero and whatnot that are going through the area as well. But yeah, there's definitely stuff coming out. So if anyone's following us on any of our Instagram or socials or anything like that, they'll definitely hear about it.
And I got to say, Tyler, before we actually part ways here tonight, obviously I know how to follow Left-Handed Knives across all social media platforms, but people down here in Ottawa, Ontario, if they're just discovering you guys tonight, how do they go about following you across all social media platforms if they're not already doing so?
So we're pretty good with Left-Handed Knives pretty much anywhere. Like if you put that together on X or Facebook or Instagram or Apple Music, Spotify, you'll find us. We're there. We're pretty singular with the Left-Handed Knives name. There's not a lot of competition for that in any searching that you'll do. So I mean, you shouldn't have any issue finding us.
And I got to say, first and foremost, Tyler, thank you so much for giving not only myself, but the radio station airways a bit of your time, man. It was such an honor speaking with Corpus Christi, Texas' finest tonight. Hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon. But for now, definitely have yourself a wonderful night. And, of course, a great rest of the holiday season to you and yours as well.
Yeah, you as well. I hope everybody has a happy new year.
Definitely she'll try. But for now, man, again, thank you so much. And we definitely shall talk again here soon.
All right, man. Good night.